He's a billionaire entrepreneur, investor, and TV personality. At 12 years old, he was already hustling selling garbage bags, and now he owns the Dallas Mavericks. He is Mark Cuban, and this is my take on his top 5 secrets to success.
You know, personally, I think every time is a perfect time to start a business. There's no bad times. If you do the work, if you do the preparation, you'll know when it's time. And it doesn't mean that it won't be a little bit scary, but you know, you'll know. And you don't have to quit the daytime job if you don't feel all that comfortable, and you can give it a run at night. But whatever works for you now with the internet, you've got all the choices in the world, and you can just go out there and do your own thing and you know, set up a business part-time.
The passion I've always had for business and being an entrepreneur that transfers into the Mavs, I've always been passionate. Some people thought, you know, it's more OCD than anything else, which I think is a great trait for an entrepreneur. When I mentioned the stamp business, I would stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, even though I had to get up and go to school, and read Lynn Stamp News and Scott's Stamp Journals and have them all memorized and use that to give myself an edge. Even when I was in college, I'd be in the library reading business books and just looking for business biographies and just reading all I could about business. When I had Micro Solutions and, you know, I started with no money, you know, I'd pull all-nighters in front of borrowed computers, teaching myself software and how to program.
Just to go after it. I mean, the thing about being an entrepreneur is it's just all to you. You know, a lot of people like to make excuses. I don't have connections, I don't have money, I don't have this, but you know, if you find something that you like to do or love to do, be great at it and see if you can turn it into a business. In worst case, you're going to have fun doing what it is you love to do. In best case, you can turn it into a business. I'm just not big on excuses. I just think if you really, everybody has that opportunity to go for it. They just got to do it. One of the things that companies do or startups do, they come up with an idea, they'll Google it, and if they don't see it in the first 2 pages, they think it's original. You got to go back. Right? Because over the past 15 years, there's so many different businesses that have tried and failed. You have to go back and find those and learn from those. So you've got to understand all the implications, and you have to learn from history. And so the best advice I can give you on a video before talking to you or emailing with you is that you've got to find out the history of people who have tried your idea, because there's a 99.99999% chance that your idea has been tried before. That's not a good reason not to start it, because you might be able to outperform them, but you better learn from the history of your idea, because you know what they say about people who don't learn from history. I had a job out of college working for a bank for a short period of time, Mellon Bank, and I decided to, well, first, it might have been Inc. magazine, this is way back when, but there was an article about changing something in how you how you save Social Security from employees' paychecks. And I literally hadn't been working there for 3 weeks. And so I sent it to the CEO of Mellon Bank. Hey, I thought you might be interested in this. Literally, some guy he never heard of. And I got a note back, said thank you. And I'm thinking, okay, look, my whole motive in taking a job working for somebody was to help them become more profitable. That's the way I always looked at it. And then I started a rookies club where I reached out to some executives and all the people who had started at the same time at Mellon Bank. We'd all go out and get a drink, and we'd get this executive start. And I didn't like run it through my boss or anything. And so my boss at the time calls me in and said, "You're doing this." I said, "Yeah," thinking he's going to say great. He just starts screaming at me and reaming me. "How could you do this? You go everything through me. You work for me." Yeah. So I knew I wasn't destined there. And then I left, and I went down to, ended up down in Dallas, and got a job working for a company called Your Business Software. And we sold software, and I didn't know anything about software. I took one computer class at Indiana and kind of cheated to pass. But not that I condone that, but and so I had a customer, and I'd stay up all night reading. I figured, you know, computers were new, and technology was new, this technology was new, so no one had a head start on me, because it was changing so rapidly like it is today, that if I just put in the time, I can learn as much as anybody else. And so I taught myself, I'd stay up late reading software manuals, taught myself different little simple programming languages, and kept on getting bigger and bigger and better and better, but it was at a retail store. And one of my responsibilities was to come in, sweep the floor, wipe down the windows, and open the store. And I had a customer who wanted me to come out there and close the deal. And it was a $15,000 deal, $1,500 commission to me. Told my boss, he said, no, you need to be there to open the store. And I made the executive decision that I was going to go get the check. Because, you know, I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment, sleeping on the floor, and this check meant I could, like, not use the same Holiday Inn towels with holes in them that I'd stolen, you know. But anyway, so I went and picked up the check, thinking when I came back and gave the check to my boss, all would be forgiven, and, you know, the sales cures all. Fired me. And so those back-to-back experiences confirmed what I already knew, that I was a shitty-ass employee, and then I better start my